Dozens of people are reported dead after an Israeli strike on a school in Gaza where displaced Palestinians were sheltering. Israel claims a Hamas compound was embedded inside. So for more on this, I want to bring in BBC News Middle East correspondent Hugo Bachega. Hugo, it's good to see you again. What are we learning about this latest strike?
Yeah, Anne-Marie, so the authorities in Gaza are saying that more than 40 people were killed as a result of this airstrike, the majority of them women and children. And this was a UN-run school that was being used as a shelter by Palestinians who had been displaced by the fighting in Gaza. The head of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees told us that 6,000 people had been sheltering in this school. And in the aftermath of this attack, we saw images of the hospital that was treating some of the casualties, dozens of people being treated on the floor. There were some chaotic scenes. And again, what the local officials are saying is that the majority of these victims are civilians. Now, the Israeli authorities are saying that this was a precision strike targeting Hamas and Islamic Jihad fighters. They said that they had intelligence that between 20 and 30 fighters were using this building to plan and carry out attacks. They said they had taken measures to limit the number of civilian casualties. They say that they had called off this attack twice because of those concerns. But again, they said that this was a successful operation. And I think it's not the first time that we see an Israeli airstrike resulting in a large number of casualties. And I think for the critics of the Israeli military, they're going to say that the Israeli authorities accept the risk that these airstrikes can cause a large number of civilian casualties because these are targets in densely populated areas of Gaza. And now we're saying that most of those people who were sheltering there had fled other parts of Gaza where military activity by the Israeli army has been very intense in recent weeks.
Let me ask you about the efforts to secure a ceasefire. We just reported that it looks like Hamas is rejecting this latest ceasefire. What do we know about where things stand?
Yeah, so there were discussions yesterday in Doha between the head of the CIA and also mediators from Egypt and Qatar. These are countries that have been trying to mediate talks for a ceasefire. There have been reports that these talks continue, but it seems that there hasn't been a breakthrough. This morning, the White House issued a joint statement with 16 other nations whose citizens remain in captivity in Gaza, essentially urging both Israel and Hamas to reach a deal to, make whatever commitments are needed for a deal, for a ceasefire deal and a hostage release deal. We know that Hamas insists that any kind of deal needs to guarantee the end of the war. They think that if there are no guarantees that this is going to lead to a permanent ceasefire, the Israeli military is going to return to Gaza to continue with its offensive against the group. And for the Israelis, they say that they are not going to, commit to, any permanent ceasefire before Hamas is destroyed. And obviously there is a lot of pressure on the Prime Minister to reach a deal from the families of the hostages, but also from some of the country's main international allies. But as we've been saying for days now, there's also a lot of pressure against the deal, including from some of the members, far-right members of his coalition, who have threatened to quit. They say that the war must continue and that military pressure is the only way to bring the hostages back.
Right. Hugo, thank you so much.